Hello, Coolers, and welcome back to Viva Barca. Welcome to the home of everything Barcelona, where we are going to be discussing on the very latest as usual. We start with Jordi Alba, as it has been reported that the Barcelona Veterans World Cup place is under threat, as manager Xavi is unimpressed with his performances. We are going to be discussing on that as we progress. Then secondly, talking about Martin Braithwaite, it has been reported that the out-of-ever Barcelona striker finally is ready to listen to offers. We are also going to be discussing on that. So guys, as we get right into it, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, if you're a Barcelona lover, please don't hesitate to subscribe. Turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. A recent report from Dario AS has offered a detailed update on Barcelona's situation in the left-back position. The report shed light on the woes of Jordi Alba, in particular, emphasizing his recent loss of form. The veteran fullback is yet to even start in Barca's last two matches, with Alejandro Balde getting the nod ahead of him so far. It appears Xavi is not happy with the performances of Jordi Alba. The Barcelona coach was particularly furious with the left-back's game against Rayo Vallecano, as he made a few tactical errors and was unable to offer creativity in the final third. It compelled him to start with Balde, who has becoming, he's now coming on the back of an excellent pre-season and is now ahead of Alba in the pecking order, having already started the last two matches. Alba's lack of performance and game time could be devastating for the player as far as his chances of being selected for the Spanish team is concerned, especially ahead of the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar. Spain coach Luis Enrique is expected to choose his team purely on the basis of merit rather than experience. And even though the master tactician has managed Alba in the past, the Barcelona veteran is not expected to gain any favors. To make matters worse for Alba, Barcelona are working towards the transfer of Marcos Alonso. The Chelsea fullback is likely to join Camp Nou before the end of the month as part of Xavi's plan to reinforce the left-back unit. Although Alonso's potential arrival is not expected to impact Alba's apparent route to prominence, it could certainly affect Alba's stature in the first team. Hence, Jordi Alba must get back to his old self sooner rather than later if he is to avoid a rather underwhelming end to a glittering career. Jordi Alba, of course, have not been the player he used to be. We all know that, right? The game against Rayo Vallecano, he was a total mess, and many fans complained about his performance. And the manager as well, Xavi, was not impressed according to reports. So that's why we see Xavi against Sociedad and against Real Valladolid. The last two games, he has been choosing to put but Alejandro Balde, which I think is even a very good decision. Balde is doing a good job, and I think the kid is growing. He's a future star in the left back position, and it's a good thing that the manager is showing faith in him. Very important to show trust in a young star like that. So Jordi Alba is in serious problem according to this report. His place in the World Cup can be under threat if things continue the way they are. Because last game he sat on the bench throughout. So Xavi is making it clear that Jordi Alba must up his game. But normally we know we are in the transition phase. It is but normal that young stars start featuring in certain things, right? I'm happy for the fact that Gerard Piqué himself is also a bench warmer, which is so important. Piqué now mostly watches games from the bench because we already have younger players who are in the transition, for crying out loud. So look at Busquets. The problem now is Busquets is still the one who is playing nearly every time, which if Xavi can start, using Frankie de Jong always at that DM role while resting Busquets, it will be something good, because from what I'm seeing now, Xavi wants to be using Frankie de Jong mostly at his natural role this season, not using Frankie de Jong as a central midfielder like last season, right? That's why you see when Busquets starts, Frankie de Jong will be on the bench. But against Sociedad, when Busquets was not available, Frankie de Jong was the one who started there. But I just wish Xavi should try to implement what he has been doing with other veterans, trying to also rest Frankie de Jong. Those are the veterans. They need to start resting. I don't expect all the time Busquets should be the one starting games, playing almost 90 minutes. It makes no sense, you know. So for Jordi Alba's case, the fact that Bade have been the one starting the last two games, it calls for concern for Jordi Alba, so he's not the player he was before, so it's but normal that he gets loss of form and the manager have to use a younger player at his position to, so let's see. Marcos Alonso is also likely to be a Barca player from what Gerard Romero have been saying, so it will be not surprising to see Jordi Alba fall further down the pecking order of things at the Camp Nou when Marcos Alonso arrives, because the report says if Alonso arrives at Barcelona, it will not really affect Alejandro Bade's prominence, like his time of play and everything. Bade will still be the first choice for Xavi, Marcos Alonso will be the second choice, then Jordi Alba will be the last choice. That is how things will look like when Marcos Alonso arrives as our new left back. Then on to the next story of discussion. The situation with Martin Braithwaite is exactly the same, although it's been learned that the Dane is now valuing the exit more than before. According to Spanish publication Mundo Deportivo, Martin is one among three players alongside Ace Abde and Sergio Dest that Barcelona are looking to offload before the transfer window ends. The state of affairs with Martin Braithwaite is now very tricky, to say the very least. To begin with, he does have options on the table, but not all of them are convincing enough. In that regard, Elche are the last team to come up with an offer, but there has been no movement from the players' front. The reason behind Elche's reported interest has been quoted by Mundo Deportivo as Lucas Boyer's potential departure to Sevilla. Once the 26-year-old secures his move, Elche will be left reeling for a new striker, and this is where Martin Braithwaite comes into the picture. However, the only issue in sanctioning Braithwaite's sale lies within the Barcelona territory. The 31-year-old, who currently pockets €2.5 million per season, still has 2 more years left on his ongoing contract. And in order to terminate his deal, he is asking Barcelona to settle down the €5 million that he will be owed over the next 2 years. As reported before, if Barcelona somehow managed to sanction an exit, it would help them save up to €7 million. While most of the amount would come from his salary, the additional €3 million can be gained through amortization. The player, however, will not listen to any offers until he gets what he is asking for, making the entire situation more complicated than it is already. But if the aforementioned report from Mundo Deportivo is to be believed, the player might come to a compromise, given that a place in the year's World Cup in Qatar is at stake. Meanwhile, as long as we are on the complicated subject, Sergio Dest comes under the same category. The Dutch-born American defender has now understood what awaits him if he stays, but there is no concrete solution as it stands. This is because while Barcelona are open to selling the player, they are demanding in excess of €20 million for a player who is already out of manager Xavi's plans. His representatives have managed to cool some decent interest, but the aforementioned price is proving to be so high, which is an issue. So guys, with that we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.